The method I have employed is one to effectively communicate with them, right? And for giving them a space to communicate with you, right? I think oftentimes we have communicated from the top down, right? Which probably is from a belief that young people are to be told what to do, that young people need to be spoken to and not spoken with. And that is what takes away their hope. Because oftentimes you are communicating what they already know, and you're communicating much less than they know, right? We have to realize that, especially in the global village and the global world, right, that young people have far greater access to information than was ever before. So when I go to young people, I go to learn from them, and I go to give them an opportunity to teach. And I find that gives them hope.
It's method and makeup of the youth policy of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
We look specifically on education and training, which I consider education to really be the bedrock of national development. We also look on health and well-being. Of course, our young people can't function if they're not healthy, both mentally and physically. We look on social inclusiveness, so it's not about demarcating anyone or discriminating against anyone despite your gender, despite your looks, despite your disability or whatever it is, but incorporating everyone.
This year, for the first time in our history, we have youth advisors, which advise government directly on policy, right? And we got that because we went to the young people and we said, what do you want to see? And they said, you know, ministers often have advisors. Who are those advisors? Are the youth the advisors, right? Because how can you be really promulgating any policy without taking the youth in from the formulation stage? So we went through the process. We had an open application, and we have chosen 16 youth advisors, right? And they have already hit the ground running. We launched the project last year in November. They're already a part of the national identification system. They already help formulate now the new youth policy, which will go through. They're now working on a paper in relation to financing tertiary education, right? How will we do that? What will that look like? What do the youth want that to look like? And, you know, they're putting forward solutions.
The recurring theme, our youth being pivotal to the education product delivery, a delivery being bolstered by the work of the human resource and legal departments.
Once the task force was done and gave us the charge, there was a lot of filling in of the gap in terms of the policy analysis and development. And it is from policy analysis and development that the legislation flows. So we've done a lot of work in terms of developing policies for standards for schools, for school improvement, for special measures. We've done a lot of work in terms of the policy for teachers, teacher education, the professionalization of teaching, the recognition of the teaching profession, in terms of the regulation of the tertiary sector. All of that had to be policy work first before it was legislative work. So we've done, I think, a large body of work, a good foundation on which we can rest.
We went through quite a bit of change. When, for example, we look at the matter of a simple thing such as a job description. The job descriptions were rewritten to be output focus so that activities could be measured in a more meaningful way. So when we talk about the whole matter of transformation from within, it has to do with getting persons inside to operate at a higher level, to provide the kind of service that will redound to persons on the outside seeing that change. So we had to look at how we communicate with everyone.
It's the type of communication that enhances the ministry's management of the education product that's delivered. There is clearly more to this service delivery, and parents, you would agree, are critical to the mix. Here's news on the National Parenting Support Commission, NPSC, the body under the law that will coordinate all activities relating to parental support and development. There are parent mentors, parent support managers, and interestingly, there are parent places.
The parent place serves as a hub, as a center of excellence for parents to interact with in the school space. So as a parent comes into school, we recognize that they may just be focusing on the report cards, but we want them to recognize that there may be some behavioral deficiencies within the child that must be corrected, and the teachers would have highlighted. And so we bring them into that space, and we seek to sort of...
That space is a classroom, is a what?
It's a physical space within the school, located in schools across the country. That's kitted out with particular resources, a counseling area, a information center. We have computers in that space. We have training areas, so we bring parents into that space to build their holistic being.
This is a story about how our parents are transformed at some of our schools. Meet Marcia Thompson, mother and treasurer of the PTA of Almontown Primary and Infant School. She once struggled to read, but is now literate as a result of the Parent Study Circle, held at that time by Principal Candy Lee Crook-Smith.
She mentioned it in PTA one evening about study circle. Parents need to help children do their homework. Then we threw her to her and said, Miss, some of us don't know how to read. Some don't, if we even don't to read, some do not know how to understand how to start the work. She said, okay, what we can do to accommodate her help. And she said she can make farmer classes in the evening. And we said, yes, we'll go ahead. So that way she put it now and call it a study circle where the parents come out in the evening by 3, 4 o'clock and we start our classes. And she teaches us maths and English, how we're supposed to break down the maths, how we're supposed to do the maths to show them and to guide and help them. And she also teaches us how to break up the word, to read. Those who have problems to read, she teaches us how to do that.
How she was taught to do ratios is the very point that Dr. Tamika Benjamin raised about math being applied to everyday life.
How she teach us to do ratio, we could never get it. And then she said to us, buy the color cornflakes. And then when we buy the color cornflakes, we're gonna take out each color, put into a container. That means that we have to divide each color into different groups. And we said, Miss, but when we do that, we're going to eat the cornflakes. She said, no, if you want to learn ratio, you would not eat the cornflakes. And we said, okay, Miss. And the next day, everybody come with cornflakes to start to do ratio.
Off to school when we return.